Welcome everyone to tonight's test episode. I'm Richard Stroker.
And I'm Donald K. Punch, and this is 39 Combat.
We're getting right into the action with this test episode. So, what do you think of Player One's chances, Don?
Well, Dick, I'll be honest, I think they're very, very poor.
Well, it is true that so far he's only had one match, but he did win that match, so hopefully that will give him some luck against the much more experienced challenger.
He has elected to play as a character who slashes his own wrist before the battle begins, so I'm yet to be convinced.
Well, his power is I believe it's called Ruin, and allows him to crystallise his blood, or the blood of others, I believe. So it is helping him out a bit more than the dinosaur type void that Chaos is summoning.
I'm glad it took you so long to explain that, Dick, as I very nearly congratulated Player One on an excellent start to the battle. Uh, Fortunately, you stopped me from saying anything stupid.
Well, Don, there's always time for turnarounds in such matches.
This is not that time.
Apparently not, as that super move has just taken the first round of this best of 3 challenge.
I'm not the toughest man, Dick, but I've never been beaten up by a man with a book.
I bet you've never fought a dinosaur type monster either.
True, but I feel I could do at least marginally better.
Oh, anything's possible. It's unlikely, but I suppose it is possible, Don.
As an aside, Dick, do you understand anything which is going on here?
I do not believe so.
Excellent. I mean, I'm just in this for the money, but I hope that you're at least mildly passionate.
Well, it's an interesting thing to watch anyway. Don't normally see dinosaurs beating up people.
You don't usually see people get beaten up by dinosaurs, but then also be offered a job afterwards.
And with that, we're going into round 2. The challenger, player 1, seems to have decided to go up against the same opponent again.
Well, Dick, you did say that you hope that player one would learn from his mistakes. Obviously, he has not.
Well, we might have improved slightly, we would hope. Learned to.
Yes, no, this seems like a vast improvement.
Yes, I was trying to speak there, but the beating he's receiving is making it hard to justify my earlier comments, as he does not seem to have learned how to face this opponent at all.
I'm going to let that round speak for itself.
Yeah, that was a perfect loss for our challenger, but
Hey, it's alright, he nearly hit player 2 that time.
Yep.
Oh, and there we go. Already 100% improvement on the last round.
Yes, he's actually managed to chip off some damage. Normally there's always a chance for a comeback, but I've got to say that player one's chances are pretty slim.
It just goes to show that perhaps massive blood loss is not the way to go in a battle. On the bright side, the pain was short-lived.
Oh, I suppose summoning dinosaurs is a better weapon than crystallizing blood.
That feels obvious to me, Dave.
Oh, it wasn't obvious to player one, Don.
Well, round 3 here, and at least player 1 has decided to change his opponent, admittedly to some sort of flamboyant vampire.
Yes, Gordo, his weapon is the Snatcher. I believe it's meant to be a Grim Reaper motif with his scythe.
Ah, really? See, by calling it the Snatcher, I just assumed it was a gritty reimagining of Kitty Kitty Bang Bang.
Well, we've all got dreams we would like to see come true. But the match seems to have been taking a turn with the reach of that scythe.
I mean, even if player 1 was any good, he would be struggling to compete here, Dave.
Well, Gordo does seem to have all the advantage. The reach on that scythe is just something player 1 can't seem to cope with.
I think even more disappointing than the combat prowess of player 1 is the dress sense of both players here.
Well, I don't believe that blood actually counts as dress sense.
Oh, I like this. There seems to be some sort of actual strategy going on there. Yeah, I take that back.
It was a special move where you can trap the opponent within crystallized blood and hopefully get off a couple of shots and rack up some damage, but player 1 seems to have failed to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I'm about 80% sure that he just ripped his heart out.
That may be true, Don.
At least he tried, is what I'd be saying if it actually looked like he tried.
Well, you've got to put the effort in. Keep trying, you improve, and one day you eventually win. That just wasn't today.
Well, round 4 and we have a mirror match. So at least the footing should be equal. It looks like Challenger 1 has actually had some practice since.
Yes, couple of matches, possibly against the same opponent if the first 2 matches were anything to go by. But maybe he's stopped being a bit rusty and improved his skills a bit.
Well, I hate to admit it, but this is actually a good start for player 1. It almost looks like he's learned to block and attack.
Yeah, he seems a lot familiar with the character than his opponent does.
Although I do imagine that Suge Knight himself is probably a bit busy producing rap records to really focus on improving his game. Not that it stops him from taking the opening to the second round.
Well, actually, Don, the player 1 managed to take the first round, not Suge Knight.
I just find it hard to believe that player 1 has accomplished anything.
You have to give him credit, he did take that match, and well, he is going strong in the second match, even if he is behind by a bit.
Until he was frozen in blood, which generally puts a dampener on most fights.
Yeah, his opponent managed to take much better advantage of that move than player 1 did in the previous match.
As you said, Dick, it should be a learning experience. Let's just hope that in future matches, or heck, maybe even this one, player 1 can finally start using some of that experience he's gained from losing repeatedly.
Well, he has been doing a lot better in this set of fights, so seems the space of time between the previous fight and this one, he has improved a bit, but seems to be coming to all or nothing.
Well, he finally won a round. Admittedly, he then lost 2 in quick fashion. It's very hard to come to player 1's defense here.
Well, he has been improving, and hopefully that shows that he will continue to improve and eventually will give his opponents a better match.
Well, I guess we'll find out as we move into our 5th and final round of the night.
Yes, with another new opponent, one who this time has less experience than him.
I didn't think it was possible. No, I can see she's worn a very appropriate attire. I too turn up to fights in a short skirt. She did bring a sword.
Yes, and the sword is actually out, what I believe is the first weapon that has actually been on show the entire thing. Player 1 is doing his best to keep his distance as he stands no chance close range against such an opponent.
That's right, Dick. He does seem to have learned the advantage of a long range attack. If he could only utilise it a little bit better.
Well, it's really his only choice against his opponent, Nanase, as she is a speedy rushdown character, as you can probably tell from the wind motif.
I hate to congratulate player one, but he has actually managed to turn this round around. Or did I speak too soon?
It
Yeah.
seems you did, Don.
Apologies, Dick. I wouldn't usually put my faith in someone this terrible, but we all make mistakes.
Well, he's off to a good start in this second round at least.
He's definitely picked up some sort of dodging skills.
And his opponent
Subsequently
is
lost
in a
him.
rush. Well, he's finally broken out of the rush down from his opponent. Manipulating the blood in the ground seemingly well. And he's managed to take the second round.
Perhaps we could be on to player one's first comeback.
Well,
And
we
it's not a
can
bad start
also.
to the third and final round.
And he just whiffed horribly with that special attack. I believe that was not what he was aiming to do.
It's very
The
hard
blood
to tell
poison.
with a player of the caliber that is player one, that caliber being the lowest one possible.
Well, his opponent seems to have practiced the rush down quite a bit. It's just coming down to how well player one can keep the distance.
The comeback does seem to be dropping off at this point though, Dick.
Yeah, he seems to be falling at the final hurdle, but
I mean, this has
Oh,
come right down to
chance.
the wire. I'm
are you
Well,
speechless, Don?
a little bit, but I would like to point out that player one only ever managed a victory against the least experienced player possible.
Well, the victory is the victory, and after a couple of hard fights, he managed to pull off a victory in the end.
I'm yet to be impressed.
Well, anyway, that's all we have time for with this Thursday night combat. Got a couple of seconds to talk just about the show. It wouldn't just be competitive fighting games. This show would cover co-op games, other competitive games, just general commentary over player done games. Just normally not single player unless it's competitive. If you get anything to add, Don?
I'm just here to drink.
Well, that's a good night from me.
And good night from me.